Hi, Carrie. Hi, Claire. Hi, Sarah. Happy Friday. Thanks for coming. We are going to start in a restorative pose. So if you happen to have a nice fluffy pillow, or you can even take a stack of towels, or if you happen to have a bolster, perfect. Right? Once again, if you don't have these things, you can still practice in a restorative way. So, yeah, everybody's always included. And we're going to get started in a second here. Ariana is at the front desk. If you have any technical stuff, she's your go to goddess. And yeah, I'll see you later. All right, we're going to come into a supported child's pose. So that means with the bolster. Lots of options. And I want you to kind of play with the options before you settle in. So if you're like, I don't want the bolster, I just really need child's pose, by all means, go for it. If you want a little more lift, you'll bring the bolster between the knees, right? And then you can always get a blanket to support your knees and shins. And you can put a block underneath. And what that does is instead of flexion, it gives you a little more length. You can turn your head one way. So this helps open up the sacrum and the tailbone a little more. And if you're like, ooh, I'm ready to go down, then you just remove the block. And I'm gonna give you options to turn the head, but if you want to keep the spine in neutral, you can make a pillow with your hands or your forearms and release down. And don't be afraid if maybe you need a blanket, you want something else that's not around you. From this point on, you are on an island, and I am your cabana girl. Right? If you need something, I will bring it to you. And I'll wake you up in 60 minutes. Now, I want you to breathe here. And while you breathe, I'm going to just very shortly talk about the koshas. And the word talking about the koshas and shortly do not go very well together because it's very deep and intricate. But kosha means sheath, a layer. And we have 5 layers. There is the food and body layer, right? And that's what we're going to work diligently on today, right? Our physical body. And the best way I can explain this is if our physical body is not well, right, all the other layers of our breath, our mind, our intellect, and our bliss will suffer. It starts at this physical body. So we want to make sure, right, that we're breathing into the physical body because those 2 sheaths, those 2 layers are interconnected. They all are, but these 2 work together. Take a couple more breaths, and if your head is turned, you're going to turn it the other way. See if you can allow the hips to get heavier. And the best way I think that I can interpret it myself, and hopefully it lands with you, is when you're injured or you've worked out really hard a certain muscle, right? And you're tight and you really feel the work, it affects how we think, how we breathe, and our emotional state in the body. Right? So injuries can go layers and layers into depth of being depressed, sad, melancholy. And sometimes you have to go through that pain to really kind of flush out any impurities in the other layers. If you go through it with awareness, it's a lot different than just, yeah, I'm just depressed and I'm not going to do anything about it. Because we need to feel those things. They're part of our process. We don't need to hold on to those spaces. We honor them by keeping the emotion moving, right? And you even have the word motion. I'd take a couple more breaths here. I want you to take the bolster and leave it where it is. But if you have a block there, take it out. Slowly come up to table. Bolster's going to stay there. So if your knees are a little wider, that's fine. A couple cat-cows. Any other movement that feels good in this space, just do so. Good, and then gently come back to sitting on your heels. I have a question. You don't have to answer honestly, but who loves the feeling of chaturanga in their body? Half plank? Yeah. Right? Sometimes when we get to know how to do it, it feels good. We want to get there. So we're going to do a chaturanga on the bolster today to try to bring a little more love into that shape because it is a physical posture and it's a very important posture to kind of really pay attention to. So first, all I want you to do is make sure the zipper is down on your bolster. You're going to come into down dog, get to a little play a little bit. Yeah. And we're just going to kind of workshop this for a moment, and then I'm going to put you into a nice flow. But this physical body is the vehicle, the one original vehicle we get in this life to support our mind, our emotions, our breath, our intellect, to live in bliss, which we're meant to. And living in bliss doesn't mean you don't feel pain or sorrow, right? But you don't get stuck for weeks, months, years in it, right? We keep the energy moving. Good. Now, from here, you're going to come forward, plank. Bend the elbows, lower all the way down onto the bolster. Curl the toes under. Look to see that your hands are aligned. So the wrists underneath the shoulders. Hug the upper arms in. Feel as though you're trying to drag your chest forward while you pull your hands back. Back of the neck really long. Here's the fun part. See if you can push into the hands. Get lighter on the bolster. Get lighter on the bolster. Drop back down. Get lighter on the bolster. 10,000 more of these. No, just like half an inch. You don't have to come all the way off the bolster. And then I want you to look forward slightly. So a lot of times when we come into chaturanga, we're looking back at our hands. Just look to the front of the mat. Take the pressure off the bolster. Drop back down. 3 more. Yours. You do, I watch. Your belly should still be on the bolster. You're just taking that weight off. Right? All right. You're going to go push back to child's pose and just watch for a second. I'm just going to give you a visual, and then I'm just going to have you do 18 more. I'm just joking. So what I mean All my weight is on the bolster, but I got a lot of leg work here. Toes curled under. I'm looking for, and it's not perfect in everybody, 90 degrees in my hands. I'm gonna drag my hands back. That's gonna draw my shoulder blades flat onto my back. Push my hands down, and I'm just gonna put the weight off the bolster. Chaturanga. Hands down, or weight down. Look, chaturanga. And you can feel what the up dog feels like here. It's a nice massage for the belly. So let's do 2 more chaturangas and then push it into up dog. Then you can take the bolsters and push them away. Spread the fingers, weight in the thumb and the index finger. Feel your hands dragged back. Don't lift the chest off the bolster, just lift the weight off the bolster. Press the heels back. Good, now the belly releases and then come into up dog. Keep your toes curled under for this one. There you go. Collarbone spreads. Lovely. Exhale, down dog. You're gonna take the bolster, just roll it to the right. Look to the top of the mat. At the end of your exhale, step or hop your feet forward. Feet hip bone distance apart. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Good. Circle your arms out and up. Come all the way up to standing. Hands come down to the heart or down by your side. So Tadasana. Feet can be hip bone distance apart, all 10 toes facing forward. Or you want to get a little deeper into the hamstring work. You're going to bring your big toes together, heels slightly apart. Okay? You do you. Okay? Why would you keep more space? Maybe you feel much tighter in your body, right? Think about the physical body. We need to address the physical body before we can kind of get into all those underlying layers. Maybe the hamstrings are tight or the low back is tight. You're like, I just need more stretch. Bring it together. And know that you are never locked into a decision when creating the foundation of a pose. Then find your breath and a steady gaze. Okay. Hopefully it doesn't take too much to find your breath because it's always with you. Okay. We want to pay attention to the inhale and the exhale. The inhale brings us space. The exhale, we hold and move into that space. From here, I want you to reach the fingertips to the floor. As you do, your hips are going to go back. Okay? As your hips go back, your knees naturally bend. If you can touch the floor, great. If you've got longer legs, the floor might be further away. You can even bring your blocks in. And as you can see, I just got 2 fingers down. I just want you to feel the drawing of the shoulder blade tips towards one another. Breathe. Weight is in the heel. You can wiggle the toes. We're starting to really turn on the heat in our legs. Take a nice deep inhale. Float the arms forward. Utkatasana, chair pose. Navel draws in. Just 3 breaths. 3 breaths. Feed into the body. Now the body is giving you lots of sensation here. Okay. Just breathe it. You're not going into that intellectual space. Just be in the breathing body. Exhale, fold. Beautiful. Okay. Find length through the spine. Inhale, come halfway up. Okay. You can step back to down dog. If you're working the vinyasas, you can bring in plank, knees down or up, your choice. Chaturanga. Feel the bolster there as your support system, even though it's not there. Okay. Up dog cobra. 5 breaths. So Surya Namaskar A is a classic sun salutation. Down dog, yeah, in a perfect world, it's our resting pose where you can collect a natural inhale and exhale. Sit bones up to the sky. Right, see if you can press through your fingers, especially your thumb and your index finger. Oh, see if you can close that pocket for me. That's it. Wrap the upper arms in as you do that, right? So as you wrap the upper arms in, your hand wants to pucker. So we don't want to battle ourselves. We want to use the breath to find this internal in-between space. Good. Inhale, look to the top of the mat. End of your exhale, step or hop your feet forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Good. Push to stand. Hands come to the heart or by the side. We're going to do one more just like that. Reach down to the ground, hips go back. Inhale, arms go up, chair. Good. Exhale, forward fold. Step the left foot back, or you can hop back, plank chaturanga. Right? Float in your chaturanga. Lift the heart. Exhale, down dog. 5 breaths. And it's nice. We come to down dog. You've got time here. Like if your 5 breaths are long, that's about a minute. Maybe you're like, oh, what are my legs doing? Or are my sit bones up? And it's not we're judging they're right or wrong, but you're taking the mind to the body. And you're giving the body attention and allowing it to show you sensation. Sometimes we love it, sometimes we don't. Okay? The body doesn't discern good or bad. It's just neurons and cells feeding. And it goes and gets interpreted in your brain. You just want to breathe. Inhale, look to the top of your mat. End of your exhale, step or hop your feet. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Good. Chair pose. Good. Come to standing Tadasana. Just turn your palms up, let your eyelids be heavy. A couple deep breaths. And then from here, what I'd like you to do is actually, we're going to turn to face the right side of the room, and I'd like you to stand in the middle of your mat. Just for this next one, we're going to use our mat for the whole thing. So you're going to take Tadasana in the middle of your mat. I don't think we'll need the blocks right now. Hands are going to start on your hips. I'll be your mirror. From here, what I want you to do is you're going to put the weight into the right foot and just start to swing that left leg around. So many times in class, we're like, we need a balance. You got to learn good balance or else your body's messed up. But balance does not exist without being imbalanced, right? So there's this fluctuation. So allow yourself to be a little imbalanced. Otherwise, you're never going to be able to find balance, right? So those are like the days you're just emotionally off, tired. It's normal, right? We don't want them to last forever, but we got to be like, yeah, today I'm off. And maybe today is that day, maybe it's not. But now I want you just to come ground through your right foot and just bring the ball of the left foot to the mat. Okay? Pull the low belly in. Steady gaze on the floor, about 6 feet in front of you. Hands can still rest at the hips. Open up the heart. You're going to lift that left knee. You're going to bend your right knee. as you bring the foot behind. Put the weight into that left ball of the foot. Okay? So I'm on the ball of the foot. Good. Step back. Ground. You can ground the foot flat or you can stay on the ball. Your choice. That was one. I want us to do 7 more. Nice deep inhale, low belly in. Take it back, weight back, squeeze the glutes in. Feel these glutes activate. Come back, land. Good. 5 more. Is it 6 more? My math's not balanced today. Good. Move with your breath. Don't worry about the arms right now. Okay, and find your rhythm. Okay. We want to put the weight in that left heel so it's not so much in the knee, right? And our knees are working. If your knees are sensitive, then don't go deep, okay? Just feel the step back, low belly in, hips engage. What are you at? I'm not a big counter either, so, but does it feel right? We got a little heat there? We're just getting warmed up. So from here, come to standing. Weight is now gonna go on the left foot, right? If you wanna feel even more imbalance, try closing your eyes or let your eyelids be heavy and allow yourself to be like, oh, fall, okay? Why do we learn balance? Is so that when we fall, because we are going to fall at some point in our life, that we're able to hold and the muscles can trigger to catch ourselves. If you're constantly, rigidly, perfectly balanced, you're not really teaching those muscles to react. To catch you that one day there's a banana peel on the curve. All right, now steady gaze, low belly draws in. Come onto the ball of your right foot, step back, kind of find the positioning. Do the first one slow. Outer hips hug in. It's like you're squeezing the legs together. And then step. All right, 7 more. And 6. 5. I think that's why I don't count, because I don't want it to sound like, all right, aerobics. 4, 3, last 2, and 1. Good. Steady gaze. Ground. Maybe you feel a little warmth in the heat. It shouldn't be, or in the hips. It shouldn't be too bad. From here, you're going to look to the top of the mat. Step to the top. Chair pose. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, step or hop, plank chaturanga. Down dog. We all meet. Right leg slowly lifts. Take a few breaths to press the left heel towards the ground, to feel length and energy through the right side, grounding through the left. Isn't it amazing? In one body, you can feel so many things. Good. Exhale, step that right foot forward between the hands, bring your left heel down, come into warrior 2. You're gonna reverse the warrior, straighten your front leg, okay? Extended reverse triangle. Connect to the right big toe. Make sure you can wiggle your toes. Left outer heel furthest point, rooting. You're gonna come into triangle, Utthita Trikonasana, but I don't want you to have to make adjustments when you get there. So reach out, get as long as you can, then bring the fingertips down. Left arm sweeps up to bring the arms to 9 or to 6 and 12. Open up through the chest. Imagine that you're putting on a wetsuit on your legs, right? So we want to really feel that engagement in the legs, that stability in the foundation of the shape, so that you can find mobility in the spine and start to get beyond the breath, beyond the mind, into a place of bliss in the heart. One more full breath. Inhale, bring it back up to warrior two. Exhale, windmill the hands down. Take your vinyasa, which might be back to down dog. Child pose would even work as a resting pose today if you need, right? It's going to keep you going where we're going to go. Let's work those standing poses on the left side. So slowly, left leg lifts from the inner thigh. Okay. Pay attention. What's the left side feel like? We want extension there. A little bit of contraction up at that right hip flexor, right? You can breathe in two energies at once. Good. Lift that right heel to get very big. Pull the left knee, step it forward. Left foot grounds, right heel grounds. The toes on the right, turn to the right. Inhale, warrior two. There's some good looking warrior twos today. Soften around the shoulders. Yeah. We want to make sure there's a lot of space between that left hip crease and that left thigh. So, and it depends. This is like if you sit a lot or if you run a lot, this little movement is really hard, right? Because these muscles get really tight. So it's like you're lifting that left hip, and then we don't want to sag into the right thigh. Nice deep breath. Exhale, reverse. If you're kind of a runner or like to sit, this might be more comfortable in your body. And that's the beauty. Each body feels a shape differently daily. Right? You're not going to feel this shape the same way that you did yesterday. Now straighten your left leg if you haven't already. Lift that left kneecap. Reach out, try to touch the front of the room, metaphorically, and then come into triangle pose. We're not going to get into it today, but triangle has so many little adjustments that can be made for each body. Heart forward. Let's just work on the arms, expanding. Legs strong and powerful, so that you can rotate that left rib cage up to the sky and soften the right rib cage down to feel even space in the front of the heart and the back. Something should arise beyond physical. That's what the practice is. We don't attach, we move through. Good, one more deep breath in. Press down through the left big toe to rise up to warrior two. Exhale, take your vinyasa. Slowly windmill the hands down. Right? If you're feeling overheated or the breath isn't smooth, child's pose is a good place to go for where we're going today. Okay? Otherwise, building the warmth, working the movement. Full breath in. Now, I want you to come down to table, but I want you to take 5 breaths. So fingertips spread. Start to shift your chest forward. Bend your knees a little. Deep breath in, hollow out the belly. Exhale, bend your knees a little more. A little more. The more the knees bend, the more the belly hollows. Shoulders over the wrists. You're going to find some uncomfortable places. They're very powerful, right? Good. The mind wants to jump in and go like, we got to stop this.
But no, the bliss is on the other side going, you can do this. Slowly, knees are placed. From here, big sweep, right arm goes up. We did this on Wednesday if you were here. Right fingertips go down. So it's not thread the needle. You're gonna press the right palm on the left side of your mat. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, lean to the right. Maybe the elbow comes down, let the head release. Soften. Right? What I want you to feel is that right shoulder blade is pulling away from the spine. Left hand pushes in, right palm pressing down, like you're trying to drag the right side of the room towards, or the left side of the room towards the right. And you gotta be breathing here, right? If you wanna release any tension underneath those shoulder blades, you gotta let the breath penetrate there. Not hyperventilate, penetrate. Good, bring it back up. Plant into table. Left arm sweeps up. Exhale. Left hand will go over to the right, palm facing down, fingertips pointing to the right, and you're just gonna lean to the left. Let the head soften. We're starting to send energy, this pranic force, into the thin tissue. And this is all part of the heart. It's important to make space so you can process emotions. The upper back, the chest, the neck. Good, unwind. I'm going to share with you my new favorite way to do cat-cow. Your right hand is going to point to the left, palm facing down. The left hand's going to come in front of that right wrist, and it's going to point to the right. You're going to inhale, tailbone up to the sky. Exhale, round bend the elbows like you're sticking your head between the upper arms. Inhale, straighten the arms, lift the chest. As you straighten the arms, you feel a little more work in the shoulders. Exhale, round. Really try to see if you can find that space between the shoulder blades. Take a couple more breaths, and then we'll switch the wrists. It's not about loving or disliking a movement. It's about kind of really witnessing the reaction of the body and then sensation of the body. We don't want our mind to create stories. Good. Now switch the cross of the wrists. So you'll put the opposite hand in front. Spread the fingers. If you want to get deeper, right, it's wrist in front of wrist, hands to the opposite. Inhale, lift the chest, straighten the arms. Exhale, bend the elbows like you're pulling your hands away from each other. And by all means, if there's a spot that's like, whoo, don't move from it. Even if you're in a flow, give yourself permission to really observe. Good. All right. Release the hands. You're going to shift them back, turn the palms up so you're in child's pose. Wiggle the fingers. Feel the palms open up. Good. Down dog. Right leg will lift. Step your right foot forward. Ground your left heel. Grab a block, place it to the outside of the right ankle. Draw the right buttocks back, and I want you to be like you're pulling a bow and arrow or starting a lawnmower in slow motion with the left hand. So as you pull that left arm up to the sky, the legs are gonna go straight. You're gonna end up in triangle pose. Yeah. Like you've just opened your body and spread it between two walls. Heart away from the belly button. If you need more grounding, look down to the right foot. If you want to feel the energy lift, look toward your left thumb. Chin slightly towards the chest so the back of the neck is long. Good. Left hand will come to your hip. You're going to bend your right knee, look forward. We're going into half moon because we are in a half moon cycle. Drag the left toes in. You can take your block with you or not. Right fingertips about 1 to 2 feet, depending on your torso, in line with the pinky toe. Flex, flex, flex the left foot. Right. Left arm floats up. You've got 8 of your breaths. You can stay here or play. What are all the ways you can play? Well, looking up to find the classic shape is one, but that's usually a good path out. Okay. Honor the wobbles. If you fall out, fabulous. You get to come in again. You get to do it twice. 3 more breaths. All right. So first, I'd like you to bring your left hand down. Pull your left knee into your nose. So we want to square the hips to come out of that external pose safely. From here, you're going to tuck the left knee behind your right knee. Ball of the right foot, or ball of the left foot, is over to the right side of the mat, right? It's the leg position we did when we were facing the left side of the room. From here, walk the hands, and the blocks are there to give you more space if you've got longer legs. You're gonna walk the hands over to the right. Breathe. I want you to feel grounded in your feet. You may stay here. Otherwise, that left elbow is going to hook to the outside of the right knee, and the right arm is going to shoot up to the sky. Yeah, and then place your left hand on your heart, as close to it as you can. Let's see if I can get it. Breathe. You are willing. It is beautiful. This body is a gift. Exhale. Hand comes down. Step the left foot back. Plant your palms. Take your journey through breath and body. And the idea, I mentioned this island. You want to stay in this body. So sometimes if the body is tired, the breath goes, and all of a sudden you're checking out. Right? So whatever shape allows you to ground. Good. When you're ready, we're going to do the second side. And if your movement is behind ours, that is fine. Left leg will lift. Step the left foot forward. Set up the right foot like you're in Warrior Two. We're coming into triangle, but grab the block. Have it to the outside of the left foot.
slow moving. So you're rooted, right? So you can deal with the emotion that's about to evolve into the shape. Pull that right hand up as you press down through the feet. Feel the chest rotate. Nice. Left kneecap is lifting. The hamstrings are very tight. Don't stress about getting the leg straight, but I want you to feel that left hip crease draw back. Right? That'll get you to straight. Hand comes to the hip. Right? I want you to feel the muscles hug to the bone, look down to the ground. Bend your left knee, take the block forward. Okay. Drag the right toes in. Get the weight into the left foot so you can really engage right thigh, right calf, right ankle. Low belly draws in. You are expansive. You want the blocks to the pinky side of the foot slightly. Right? Right? The more you expand, the more balance you'll have. Let's see. What happens if you bring it just an inch? Yeah, because your torso is longer. Hey, one side might have a whole different story than the other. Yeah. Instead of feeling that there's an end goal, let it be exploratory. Last little breath. Good. Hand comes down. Pull your right knee into the nose. It should give you this kind of little moment of like, whoo. Yeah. Steady breath to set up for this last standing pose. You're going to bring the right foot to the outside of the mat. Okay? The outside of the left, so here's the deal is if your ankles are really close to one another, I love how we love to make life harder for ourselves. If you want more challenge, I'm all for it. But the further to the left that right foot goes and slightly further back, you have now a wider foundation. If you're ankle to ankle, now you're on a tightrope. It's not wrong. You're just making yourself it's more challenging than I was hoping you'd do for yourself. But hey, we want the weight on the ball of the foot. You're sending your weight back. Walk the fingertips to the left. Outer hips hug in, hollow out the belly. Right elbow finds that left knee, the outer knee. When you're ready, if it's meant to be today, maybe you're like, I just need to hug myself. Maybe you need to expand. Arm goes up. Right hand across the heart, across the shoulder. Breathe. Right? This is like a god or goddess shape here. Right? You're drawing in to expand through those left fingertips. One more breath. Exhale, hands come down. Step that right foot to the back of the mat. This will be your opportunity for the most beautiful, breathtaking last movement as far as vinyasa flow goes. Let the movement serve you. And the idea is we start to get into this body breath practice where we're not doing yoga. Right? These shapes are doing us. They're molding us. They're freeing us. They're finding us. Nice deep inhale, a big sigh out. Ha. Child's pose. You can take your arms in any direction.
And then slowly roll on up. Gently bring your legs in front of you for Dandasana, staff pose. So we're gonna go into some deep knee, hip, and shoulder work all together. I want you to honor the knees and I will give you variations if your knees don't like it. Right? So cow face pose. What I'd like you to do is you're gonna bend both knees just slightly. Right? Sit up really tall. If you feel you need more height, I can bring you a blanket and I'll come around and look. But you're gonna open up the right hip. And you're gonna slide that right knee almost towards the midline, right? And I want you to start by bringing that right heel as close to your left butt as you can, right? If here you do this, it's like, if it's a stretch, it's okay. If it's stabbing, it's not okay. Right? We can work your knees together because you got to honor that. Then I want you to gently reach down, pick up this left leg, and stack the knee on top. Now, as you can see, I'm starting in this kind of weird angle. All right, so that right ankle is, or that left ankle is going forward, the right is going back. Right? And if you're like, ooh, my knees don't like this, from here, the right knee will straighten. Right? And you'll just do the half variation. If you're here, all is well. I want you to gently, lovingly come down and see if you can wiggle that left foot so that you come to the pinky edge. So it's pretty much ankle and knee. Then you're gonna lean slightly and see if you can match it with the right. And if you're like, that's not working, go back to where you just came, right? Yeah, you gotta try it. And then you're like, nah, not working. I gotta stay there. I gotta stay here. Wouldn't it be nice if we were just doing the legs today? No. Arms are gonna go out. Right arm's gonna come on top, give yourself a hug. The idea here is we're opening up the back body. If you wanna go for the full eagle arms, you can. If that's not good for the wrist, elbow, or shoulders, stay with the hug. Deep breath in, lift up. You can stay upright. Or you can start to fold. Now, yeah, you can bring the elbows into the belly, or you can bring the elbows in front of the knee. I want you to be here for about 30 seconds, so there's a couple breaths to explore. But then come in, and I want you to imagine this pose as you are giving yourself the biggest hug. Right? Aches, pains physically, we can work with. Right? Those deeper bruises, those lifetime ago traumas, they take a lot to get to, and it's okay, right, to take your time. Good. 5 more deep breaths. To come out, lift up, unwind. Hopefully, right. Stretch the legs forward. Give them a shake. Right hand leans to the right, left leg behind, right leg in front. Right, you can stay here, open up the chest, left hand comes behind the heart, or lift up, open up the pelvis, right, to free up, release. Good, exhale. Dandasana. And really, this is our neutral pose like Tadasana or down dog. A place to find the breath. We let go of that work we just did. Fresh breath in a new moment. We bend the knees. We're looking for symmetry from left to right. But if one hip has got a whole thing going on, then it might not look the exact same, and that's okay, right? The physical layer is just one of many layers. And then, so just starting off in that kind of diagonal line, and then the hands come and then opening up the hip by walking the heel. And respecting that one side of the body might be a lot different than the other. You'll set your shape. Eventually, the full shape, your ankles and your knees are in line. But sometimes that bottom leg, that's a lot for the hip. Sit bones, ground, arms open. This time the left will go on top. You start with the hug. Just a place of compassion. And then if you want the eagle arms, maybe you just need the simplicity of the hug and drawing in. All of the universe is based on expansion and contraction. Right? There is this contraction to make up matter, to protect ourselves, to hold space. And in order to move forward through time, we have to expand. It's a pattern. We see it in our breath. We see it in the pulse of our heart. We feel grief so we can really truly feel joy. Move through anger so we know understanding. Your body is the vessel for all of that energy. It takes bumps and bruises and traumas and broken bones. Good last few breaths. We build. The bruises heal. Take the torso up. Through a lot of work, we can start to heal long time trauma. Arms behind, legs forward. It's time to shift. Lean to the left. Open up. Just feeling grounded. There's a lot, right? Bubbling up. You can keep your hips on the ground. You're like, yeah, it's Friday. Freedom. Lift your hips away from the ground. Lovely. Exhale, come back down. Nice. One last little movement, Dandasana, and then you get to go on your personal journey. Big breath in, reach the arms up, exhale, forward fold, Paschimottanasana. Making space from the heels all the way to the back of the skull. Good. Now, since we have the bolsters, we have lots of options for that final relaxation. Fingertips are going to push into the floor, and I want you to push chin into the chest, roll on up. So we're staying quite passive. If you want support for the low back, Nice and simply, you can bring the bolster underneath the legs. Maybe you want a little more energy. You can come into supported Shavasana. The bolster will come behind you. You can even put the block underneath. And this just gives you a little bit of a chest opener. Yeah. You might have to negotiate through one or two poses. Right? If you need anything else, right? I am here to serve so that you can make the most of this 5 minutes. Because out of all the shapes we took today, this is the most challenging. Because the essence of this is to let go of that physical body kosha. To let go of that pranic kosha. To let go of the mental emotional layer. To let go of the intellect of I am because. And to just have a moment to rest in your truth. Ananda Maya Kosha, your bliss body, where all of the emotions exist and they dance. Savasana. Oh. Now, if you would like a warm face cloth, keep your palms up. If you would prefer not, turn your palms down. You can place that over your heart, over your eyes. They're really hot. Sorry. as we start to put our focus back on our breath. We invite a calm, clear, steady mind, intellect into the body. Feeling all the layers of self nourished. Wiggle the toes and the fingers start to stretch. And then you'll find your way rolling to one side and slowly build yourself upright. Gently bring your hands together. Get a little bit of warmth right into the palms. And today I just want you to lay your hands flat on the chest, so one stacked on top of one another. Lift the chest into the hands. A couple of deep breaths. And we'll close with Om. Feel free to join in. Full breath in. May you allow this space to move through you, to be shared with others as you move through your day. With grace and gratitude, it is an honor and a privilege to practice with you. Namaste.